Yeah,
This one?
that's the one. Yeah, this is a good idea.
Okay, do you need to lift?
Yep. Yeah. Lift over there. No.
We'll just leave it on me.
Yeah.
Should we take it off?
No, no reason. I don't remember whether they take the stove away.
They won't, so we'll be selling it.
Yeah, I guess we can sell it.
Yeah, because we talked about it on the phone.
Smells like elk farts.
Smells or sounds?
Sounds. Sorry.
What you need is a bottle of water and a diamond pad. So you gotta spray, scrub, and get into shape. Here, take some more water. That's more surface area.
World of Nadia in the sink.
That's how big my world is.
Yes. But
Look at that.
this concrete has been cleaned
And
and
revived.
surfaced. Yeah. Yeah, if we wanted to keep the color,
Yeah.
we could just put a new sealer on it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely need to give it dry overnight.
Yeah.
And then we need to clean the laminates once this is all done. I don't know what time it is.
It's not that late.
No, it's probably around 9. It looks bright because all of our lights are on, but
Yeah.
we're
So
well into the
we're-
night.
Yeah, but we've done the countertops. Mm-hmm. They look good.
Clean the backsplash.
Yeah, the backsplash is clean now.
Yeah.
So in the morning, we simply start with the
The primer.
primer, and then 2 hours later, we have to put on the first coat of the concrete. So life will be good.
It's like icing a cake.
Yeah, yeah. We're inviting all our baker friends over.
The primer is the crumb coat, and then the concrete is the main coat. Hi everyone, it's Nadia. I am in the middle of editing this video, and we both realized we're not really quite explaining as to why we're doing this. We purchased and what we like to call lovingly is concrete butter from a company, and the link to the company and its information will be in the description down below. We have had these counters for about 30 years, and it's actually been moved from one location to another, so they're very strong and durable counters. Why get rid of it? We love the concrete counter. We love the fact that you can put really hot stuff on it. I cook bread regularly, and I can put a 500-degree Dutch oven right on the concrete without seeing any breaks or tarnishes or any burns. It's fantastic. Also, they're very easy to keep clean. As long as the sealant is done well, you just wipe it and you're good to go. And the fact that it's lasted 30 years, I mean, that's pretty good. A lot of counters don't really last that long nowadays. So instead of getting rid of the counter, we decided it just needed a little revitalization, a little pick-me-up. So we found this company, and I have to say, they know their stuff. And on their site, it does indicate you can try doing it on your own. And we were able to. We've never done this before. But their site, they even have YouTube videos, very detailed with all step-by-step process on what to do. And you can easily follow with full visuals, which we really appreciated because we looked at those videos over and over again just to see what they were doing so that we can follow along. We really, really appreciate that kind of detailed information. So thank you for that. Now, the first step is the preparation step. The first step is where you need to actually grab a diamond pad and a bottle of water, spray it down, more than just dampening it. It's not quite soaking it, but you want it to get it wet enough that when you're rubbing the diamond pad, and yes, those are actually diamonds on the diamond pad because you need a hard surface to get through that concrete, you rub it off, and what you get left behind with is, you know when you're using an eraser, you're erasing off whatever you've done with a pencil on the paper, and you get left with those little, I don't know what you call them, rubbery eraser turds. I don't know what to call them, but that's what you see get left behind. So then you know that the sealant, the original sealant or sealer is actually coming off, which is what you really need to do. You need that sealer off so you can penetrate into the concrete to start binding things onto it. That's the first step. The next step is the primer. And because we had a concrete counter that we're putting this onto, they suggested 2 coats of primer. After that, then we proceed with the mixing and about 3 coats of concrete. And after that, we did about, yes, that's right, we did about 8 coats of sealant, which is fine. We had quite a bit of it, so it's not a tough thing to do. It's not a tough process, so might as well do it. So we hope you enjoyed this video. It's not quite a tutorial, but we want to show our process, what we did, and if we went through any trials and tribulations, which we probably did. At this point of the renovation, we're quite tired. We haven't really taken any days off, and I don't know about Rob. Rob is made of steel, but I was pretty tired. The brain was a little mush. So we hope you enjoyed this video, and we hope you find it helpful, and we highly, highly recommend this concrete company for your countertops. You can even go over your existing laminate countertops. You can go over anything pretty much, even marble if you wanted to. Although if the marble is really crappy, then that's the only time you want to do it. Anyways, it's a much more economical answer to replacing a counter instead of having to purchase a brand new counter if you're looking to save some money. Okay, back to the video.
Okay.
Good morning.
Hey. Good morning.
We're very chatty today.
So today we've now ground down, we sanded down the countertops with those amazing
diamond pads.
Yeah. And now we're ready to put on the primer. But before we do that and start making a mess, we want to tape off everything, the floor, the backsplash, and make sure we don't make a mess.
Yeah, because we don't want to get primer and concrete on all of our new stuff that we worked so hard to do.
And our nice, shiny, clean backsplash that we cleaned up while we were doing the counter. So.
Yeah, and it's slowly becoming sweater season.
Yes, let's try and get this before it becomes coat season.
Yeah. Okay, let's get started.
Okay.
We are opening our garage door, which you can see over here, for adequate ventilation, since we'll be dealing with a lot of chemical stuff today. So do you want to do all the edges?
I would just start in the middle.
Kept it small.
Yeah, you have to squeeze it out, basically.
There it is.
Here you go. You should do that section.
Sounds really nice. It covers quite a bit, doesn't it?
That's pretty quick. So we just finished doing 1 coat of primer. The website suggests that we do
Two coats? Two coats. We're gonna wait about an hour to 2 hours, and then once it dries, do another coat.
Siri will tell us in 90 minutes.
But leaving is pink, and apparently it should turn coral or orange as it's drying. Ain't that pretty? So while the first coat of primer is drying, we're gonna take this time to cut Rob's haircut, or cut Rob's hair.
We're gonna cut them all.
So this is the before. And here it is.
Ta-da!
What do you guys think?
I feel so much lighter on my feet.
Hello, we are going to now start putting concrete on these counters here. Primer is dry, you can touch it. It's turned into an orange coral color as directed on the instructional videos. So we are now getting everything ready to do our mixing. So this will be the first coat. We'll do the first coat today, and then we'll do the second coat tomorrow, and then the third coat, I guess, on Sunday.
We might be able to get 2 coats on tomorrow.
Think so?
Maybe.
We'll see. Yeah, because the third coat, to rub it, it can't be completely dry. It needs to be just midway dry. Rob, are you going to be the pastry chef today?
Sure. Make sure the Mixmaster works.
You found this for what, $15?
$12 or something?
Yeah.
Power tools.
I'd say that works.
Can we have the formula?
We want to do, so it's an approximate of 22 square foot coverage, in which case, as per measurement, we've measured everything out, so we just need to mix it, but we need to do it in exact, wow, my brain's really up today. Shoot the color. We are going to do ivory. We're doing 450 mils of water.
I can do 450 mils here.
Oh, is it on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. I guess the advantage of measuring with the syringe is that the water will always be at level when you're pouring it into the measuring cup.
Okay.
Because you need to account for the meniscus. So 450 mils of water.
I'm going to measure by 50s. It's 50 mil. 50. 100. I put the cup on and hit the tare button, so we're at 0. And now I'll actually measure out 450 grams, which is 450, right?
450 mil.
Which
Yeah,
is 450 grams. So much easier to work by weight. It's perfectly suited for doing exactly this.
So now this needs to sit for 5 minutes. Slurry. And then we're going to go outside and wash all these.
So,
5 minutes are up. How's it looking?
looks like it's thickened up a bit. I don't need this mask anymore.
Nope. Yeah, that did thicken up. Looks good.
I would say it could go a little thicker. Give it another few minutes. I think it's just gonna, see how soupy that is?
Yeah, that is soupy. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah. Is it thickening?
It feels thicker. Still runny, but...
Yeah, it's funny, it isn't quite cake icing thickness. Should I try doing a bit of a pour and see what happens to it?
Yeah, let's do it. It shouldn't be pouring out like that.
It sort of stayed where it was, didn't it?
It did. It didn't spread. So maybe it's okay. It could be the colorant that's causing it to. does it feel?
Feels a bit thin, but as a first coat, that might be a bonus. Your look of concentration.
It's like volatile work, man. You want to make sure it doesn't drip. So we're gonna now leave this overnight. Still very liquidy.
It's very liquidy. It's not like cake icing by any means.
No.
It's like,
It's a liquid.
it's more like a pouring glaze than it is
Yeah, we can
like
do a
an
mirror.
icing. Yeah, we
a
could do
mirror
like a
glaze.
mirror glaze finish.
Yeah, doing the edges was a little tricky.
Yeah, so I think tomorrow we're gonna stiffen the mix a little bit by adding another cup.
No, half a cup.
No, 1 cup to the mix.
1 cup is going to be a lot.
We'll try half a cup.
Half a cup, and then on the 3rd coat, then we know for sure if we needed a cup. So we're gonna let this dry overnight and grind it down.
Add more coats.
Yeah. And then we'll use a diamond pad tomorrow to kind of rub it down and make it a little more even, and then we'll do preparation for a 2nd coat. So have a good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be doing 2nd and hopefully 3rd coat of concrete, but we've let this dry overnight and just wanted to show you how it's looking. So not sure if you can see, there are some rough areas, but that's okay. The tutorial indicates that we'll be sanding this down and just smoothing out a little bit any of the really rough areas. Rob and I did decide though that this is a little too white in color, it's too bright, but we have another dye that we had purchased when we placed this order. It's a bit of a gray color. This is the other one, it's called Iron. Has a bit of a gray tone to it, so I think what we're gonna do is combine these 2 colors together and give it a bit of a hint of gray into the concrete so it's not so white. Good thing about doing these layers is that you have the opportunity to play with colors if you want, and we'll see how it turns out. So first we need to grind it, sand it down a little bit, and then start applying the 2nd coat. Morning, Rob.
Hey there. Hey.
So I let the folks know that we'll be grinding this morning and that
We'll be lightly sanding.
Lightly.
Just knocking the tips and peaks off the finish.
it's like high ridges, they were saying. And I guess rounding off the corners gently.
Very gently.
We found the mix of it liquidy, but it looks liquidy in their tutorial.
Yeah, and my guess is now that we're putting it onto a porous surface,
Yeah.
we'll be pre-wetting the surface and then putting it on, and it'll probably suck in there really nicely. So
Yeah.
we're going to
And-
keep the formulation basically the same. Meanwhile, do a little sanding.
We need our diamond pads. I don't have an N95 mask, so I'm
You're going to double mask?
going to double mask.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to raise a huge cloud of dust with this process, but
I'll be double masking. Rob has an N95 mask. I mean, the last thing we need is to be inhaling concrete dust.
yeah. Yeah,
Here's our diamond pad. Shall we get started?
let's.
I've seen the world on my own, but it doesn't look the same. Black and blue, and I don't know why I ever looked away. The sun is always
Well, I think that's done. Now we have to wipe and clean. I'll turn on the shop vac while you're doing that.
I have a hand, literally.
Better together. Better together. I can see the world through the lens.
Sure. Let me see if I can show you how this is looking. So, all sanded. There's still some ridges, but we'll manage to make it work.
Yeah, it's clean.
Good?
Shall we mix now?
Let's mix. Colorant wise, we said we want to do 20 ml of the gray and 45 ml of the white.
Shake your booty. Do you want a shot of the blending? You can see the color difference. Oh, that made a big difference.
Yeah.
I'm sure we didn't go too dark. Baking with concrete. That's my kind of baking. Do once, last forever. Yesterday. Just scraping down the sides of the bowl because we have to leave this to sit for 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is way better.
Way better.
Timer's up. Let's go see how the batter's looking.
Is the batter better?
The batter is better.
Did we use bitter butter?
Bitter butter?
Yes. Doesn't the bitter butter make better batter?
Oh, I've said that 3 times. What do you think of the gray? It's like an icy cool steel gray. So for this part of the process, we need to actually wet down the concrete. Not wet it, but dampen it down because the concrete is not sealed, so it's going to be very porous and it's going to absorb any new application of concrete.
Nadia,
Yeah?
Could you get a couple fresh?
Now, before I got interrupted, as I was saying, the concrete is porous, so you need to dampen it down a bit before you apply any new concrete on it. And you can't have pools of water, so we have our spray bottle.
Well, this stuff is definitely
Porous?
more viscous.
Oh, good. So, that means the edges should be easier to apply today.
Yeah.
Better together. Better together.
All right. I think this we can actually show you guys what it looks like since there's some color. Yeah, I think the gray works better. And everything's been coated. I honestly don't know what you guys can see, but I think the gray is working out much, much better. Much, much better. Yeah.
Blue skies.
Blue skies.
Blue skies. Smile at me. Nothing but blue skies can I see.
You got it on camera. See, you can sing. Pretty good. Hard to have glasses on with it. There you go. So yesterday we had to leave the second coat drying all day and all night. I guess because of the weather yesterday, it wasn't drying. It wasn't drying fast enough, so we decided to let it cure properly because it needs to be completely dry before you put on the third coat. And now we are going to sand the countertops using the diamond pad and have it prepped to do a third coat. And the third coat is going to be interesting because You can't have it completely dry. You need to have it partially dry. Still needs to be quite damp so you can work the surface with water and make it smooth, and be interesting to see what the outcome will be. And we also decided to purchase some proper N95 masks, especially for me. The double mask method did not really work well. Rob says I'm Madame the Edge. I do the edge work.
Very edgy.
I'm very edgy. All done. Third coat is all done. And I need to wait for this to dry. Don't know if you can really register the color on here. It's a slight gray tone. And since our vinyl flooring has gray in it, we figured this would look nice. And it actually does. You get a cool and warm contrast in terms of tones, which I like very much. So I need to wait for this to partly dry, where you don't really see dark spots, but it still feels damp to the touch. And then there's a technique where it's called hand rubbing. You spray water and you start rubbing the concrete and basically smoothing it out. And with certain strokes or streaks, no strokes, you will see that direction in the concrete. So you'll start creating a visual texture, which I'm interested to see how it's going to look considering it's a lighter concrete. We're hoping for variations and not it be a perfectly smooth, one color toned concrete countertop. Lighting is not the greatest over here, but it'll have to do for now. We finished doing the third coat at around 9:45 a.m. So it's close to or just after 12 p.m. and not quite yet. Their instructions say that it should be more to looking more on the dry side than the wet side, as in there should be some lighter spots showing up and no more dark areas or dark pools where they look too wet. So you need to hit that in-between point before we can start to smudge it out, basically. I think I'll give it another half hour or so and then I'll start doing the hand rubbing motion. So it's been about let's try this again. It's been just over 2.5 hours. It looks like it's got quite a bit of dry spots on there. They'd be the lighter colored spots. So I think we're gonna start. And what we need, well, I'm saying we, Rob's out sailing today. He's a sailor, he takes part in races, which works well for me because I think for this kind of job, since it's our first time doing it, maybe it should be one person doing it because every stroke that you take or every shape that you do ends up showing in a modeled like pattern once it's completely dry and set. So I need water bottle, diamond pad, but the soft side of the diamond pad, and I'll also be wearing gloves, so the gloved hand will also be part of the hand smudging. main smudging is this. The hand smudging will do the more finer details if there's any high ridges. What I like about this is that we get to have a little bit of fun here. Again, I'm saying we and it's just me. I get to have a little bit of fun here and actually really play because I have control over what the end result is gonna be like. And hopefully Rob likes it too. So I think time to get started. That is hard work, and I've only gotten half of this area done. I still have to do the front of this, this, and this. Unfortunately, I can't show you the close-ups. Maybe when I get to this, I'll do a close-up shot for you guys so you can see what we're doing, but I need to change my gloves. They're focus. They're tearing. Why are you being so difficult? Almost done. That's taken me a better part of about an hour of just doing this. I think I'm gonna take a nice long break after this. Oh my God, done, I think. There's still some texture, but it's concrete. You kind of want to have that texture and, you know, show the more organic look of a concrete. I don't know what the organic look of a concrete is, but I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, it looks good. Now it just needs to dry overnight. Hopefully Rob likes it. There were some areas that I just couldn't really, no matter how much I tried, I just couldn't really smooth it out. It's so much work. I don't know if you can even tell on camera, but I'm sweating buckets. Okay, I'm gonna wash up and then show you what it looks like. I am so happy with this. I honestly don't know if you can even see how smooth it is on the camera, because the camera does not want to focus since it's not finding any contrast, but hopefully I have this in focus. And you can see I am so happy. This is our first time ever doing something like this, so I would say we did pretty well. Nice and smooth. The edges still have a bit of texture, but that's fine. Yeah. And then as it dries, it should have a slightly mottled look to it. Yeah. Just a touch of gray. That's nice. That's really nice. Well, this will now sit overnight. It took me better part of an hour, if not just a bit longer. I'm gonna finish washing up because my feet. I actually have a bit of cement and powder on my feet. And tomorrow, once it cures overnight, tomorrow we're going to seal it, and then it has to cure further for another 2 days. And then after that, the final curing time is 7 days. But after the 48 hours, we can actually put stuff on it and use the counter, which means we can put the sink in. I can't wait because I want our kitchen back. We've been having our mini kitchen and we've been using the bathroom. But let me show you the sink in the bathroom. This is our bathroom situation. And as you can see, it's not a very big sink. Here's my hand, here's the sink. So not much to work with. But at least we've been able to use the mini kitchen area to do some cooking and at least, you know, most importantly, make coffee. And that's the pot that I use to make chai for myself.
Hi, and welcome to Kitchen Confidential. So we've now sort of pretty much finished the application. We put on three coats of the concrete. And today's plan is to apply the finish sealer, which is very exciting because this is the end of the countertop rebuild. So this is Omega countertop sealer from the same company that made the countertop concrete. This is their professional grade sealer. It's like apparently lifetime sealing of concrete. Heat proof, waterproof, everything proof. It's a little tricky. It's an aqueous based or water based epoxy. So a 2-part combined, and then it'll be watered down. The 2 parts then get water added to it in different ratios for primer and finish coats. So it's a little technical to do, but I decided to go with this one because it's heat proof up to like 500 degrees, because when we're working, when we're cooking, we tend to, you know, we'll pull things out of the hot oven and want to be able to just drop them on the countertop. And that's, to us, has always been the charm of having concrete countertops. So I didn't want to lose that ability. So go with the best. And these are looking really nice. At this point, I just need to do one last little sanding of these with some 220 grit sanders, just to like put, you know, any little nibbies and whatever's left over, just a light go over with this. Then clean everything up, get rid of the tape, make sure all the dust is cleaned up before I apply any finish. Then I'm going to retape the backs to prevent splashes and stuff, and then we're going to go into the Omega. Yeah, I think I'm going to tape off again around it, around the back, just to protect the little aluminum rail from getting too much epoxy on it, which I don't think would be that big a problem because it's very dry or very clear, but I don't know if you can actually see the texture on the video, and I see the shadows. Yeah, it's pretty hard to tell. It's pretty subtle, but there is a very subtle variation. See a little bit of texture here. It's pretty subtle, but it's actually quite nice. Okay, here we go. I'm a little nervous. This is all new, but I'm also excited because this is... Okay, so I've mixed my formula for the primer. Nice and milky, but it'll dry totally clear. And I'm ready to apply it. I've waited 5 minutes as per their revised instructions. And now I'm gonna basically slop it on. I'm using a damp roller and a white Scotch-Brite pad. You just spread on a good wet coat. So I've wetted the whole surface, and now I'm taking a damp roller and just back rollering it, removing the excess. This will also provide a very even coat. Okay, these have gone completely dull now. So I'm ready to put another coat of primer. I think I was a little bit light-handed in putting the first coat on, so I'm going to try and flood on a little bit more. Just watching the videos, he seems to really wet it down for these primer coats. So for the second one, I'm going to try and get it a little wetter and then take it off with the roller. I mean, what you're really doing is just providing a really good bonding level with the concrete and getting the concrete so that it's not, as he described, it's not so thirsty, so it won't soak up the final coats. It'll just, let them sit on the surface and form a finish. Nice thing is, this stuff doesn't smell. The only odor I'm getting is from the acetone that we're using to clean up. So it's really not bad to work with. You can see I'm really sort of flooding on this time. Feels more like the demonstration video. Whoa! Now I'm going to use the roller to clean off the surface. Take off the excess. This looks more like the demonstration. So I think I'm going to do one more coat of primer just to be on the safe side. Okay, so I've done all the primer coats and we're ready to move on to the application of the final finish. I'm going to make enough for at least 4 layers, which is what they recommend for kitchen use. And this one is very simple. It's just sprayed on and then rollered out. And then probably by the time I get through here, it'll 15-20 minutes and you're ready to put on another coat. So I'm just going to keep rolling and putting on coats until I've built up at least 4. Okay, that's it. The 4th and final coat. And now we just let it sit. It should cure for 24, they said 24 to 48, but 24 to 30 hours is probably reasonable enough. It's warm. So we'll just wait till it cures up and then we can go and install the sink and get our kitchen back. Okay, well, have a good night, and we'll see what it looks like tomorrow.
We finally got a call today saying that our counter for the island is ready. Now that the counter's been done and installed, we are now going to work in putting in the sink and brand new plumbing at the bottom, because that plumbing got